In our reading through the Bible, I want us, as we're in the book of Leviticus this week, to really focus in on chapters 8, 9, and 10. In chapters 8 and 9, the Lord gives through Moses directions for the priest. And he's very specific how the priests are to purify themselves, and then how they are to bring offerings and offerings for themselves, offerings for the people. And two times in those chapters it talks about that they are to do what they do to the glory of God, as they obey His commandments, as they follow out the details that He lays for them. And at the end of chapter 9, it says, as they did that God manifest His glory to Israel in the tent, in the tabernacle. And the lessons for us are very important. The applications into our lives is that our obedience to God is an act of faith. We believe Him. We take His word seriously. But our obedience is that He would be glorified in our lives. Now, the opposite application, or the opposite lesson, is in chapter 10, where two of Aaron's sons decide that instead of doing things God's way, that they would bring the sacrifices that they wanted to bring and offer them in the way they wanted to offer them, and they died. And it is important to see that this isn't something cruel, but it is God saying that He is jealous about His glory, and that the only way that we can glorify Him is by faith-filled, love-filled obedience to Him. We can't come on our terms. We come to Him on His terms. Well, as you're reading the book of Leviticus, let me just remind you, don't get caught up in the little details and bogged down. Keep the big picture ever before you, because the message of the book of Leviticus is that we can only approach God on His terms, and He teaches us His holiness and what that means in our lives as we come before Him. But He also shows us His grace in providing atonement and cleansing for us, that we can come to Him.